7:30 on a Sunday means it's once again time for the BTO Sunday recap. As always, Kevin Bunk, Michael Merlo coming to you on what is just a miserable Week 8 Sunday. The slate was terrible. I have to just start here with a personal agenda of mine. Today sucked because Nick Mangold died. All-time guy for me. Rest in peace. Jets got him a win. That's where we're going to start. But really tough news this morning. 41 years old. Absolutely the type of guy we love watching on the recap. I think he's a Hall of Fame player. I obviously have a little bias, but still just an unbelievable football player. Great guy. Great Jet fan. Everything all around. Rest in peace to him. Prayers out to his family. Jets get the win for him in Cincinnati, where he's from, ironically. So they are not winless. They're not going 0-17. They no longer have the first pick in the draft. A lot of things change in Jetland today. Finally, some positivity around the regime that they brought in. Mike, your takeaways from their 39-38 win over the Bengals.
Yeah, obviously awful news with Nick Mangold. I mean, growing up in, the times that we did, he's a guy that, we'll always remember as one of the great players, great offensive lineman we've ever watched. I totally agree with you in terms of the Hall of Fame. Hopefully one day they do give him his dues, but just awful, awful news. And the Jets, what a game, what a win. I was sitting there rooting for them, especially with the news a little more than an hour prior to the game starting. Just a great win. I mean, you sent me a photo of Glenn in that locker room, and how great does that feel for him? He's been taking a beating from the media, almost rightfully so, with how aggressive he is sometimes, not wanting to name a quarterback this week. I think, honestly, he didn't know, and I think he was just telling people he knew. He probably didn't know, but Fields, after taking the heat from Woody Johnson on Tuesday, coming out and playing a decent game. Everybody, Breece Hall, great. So it was a big win for the Jets. Just, you're never rooting for losses, even if you want that number one pick. But at the same time, it is important for this team, for this regime to get a win, and to get a win like that could really move this franchise in the right direction. And that might sound crazy, but it's the start. It's the start.
We saw it. I hate to compare the franchises, and there's the obvious connection, but we saw it with Detroit. They were 9-1. They won that game against Minnesota, and you just saw that there was a positive vibe in the foundation they were trying to build. You don't know it, though, for another 4 or 5 years, what this win means at all. We'll see. I really think the Bengals just walked into an all-time trap game today, too. I felt that when I woke up this morning, because 0-7 teams, when you have that last winless team in the league, and the Jets have played before today in 5 one-score games, you just have to be on alert. And they lost Sauce Gardner. They didn't have Garrett Wilson. They didn't even have Josh Reynolds, who's their second wide receiver and just an abysmal wide receiver room. And the Justin Fields stuff this week, it's almost like they just weren't going to be able to come in and get a win. They put up 38 points and it wasn't enough. Bad loss for Cincinnati.
Yeah, bad loss for Cincinnati, who, if they win this game, would have been, 4-4? Yep. You have Pittsburgh playing a tough game tonight, which I actually think they're going to win, but still a tough game tonight against Green Bay. And Baltimore got a big win, but you're looking at that wild card race, and there could be one spot up for grabs, depending on how a couple of things go in that AFC. And if you were able to get Burrow back at a reasonable time, maybe you would have had a chance at a late season push, but I think today's loss probably sealed the deal for them in terms of any dreams going forward for them in the playoffs, even with Burrow back at 3-5.
I know we've spoken a lot about Zach Taylor and his job security and his status as a head coach, but you got to think if there's any year he's going to get fired, this year losing to the 0-7 Jets at home is certainly not going to help his case. This has to be a moment where, as an owner, you at least think, is this really the right guy for us? And I don't even know if I want to pin it on him. The defense is so bad. How do you give up 39 points to a team that hasn't scored a touchdown in 3 weeks?
If they're going to fire the head coach, you might as well just go ahead and fire everybody, because including the front office staff, because like you mentioned, the defense is terrible. You got Trey Hendrickson done. He's been banged up. He's on the trade block again. What the hell are they going to do with him? He could be a big time piece of the deadline if he's actually moved. But the team is just bad. The offensive line stinks. Chase Brown finally had a nice game though today. The offensive line stinks. You got the weapons, obviously, and no defense in Joe Burrow, who you can't keep healthy. So if Zach Taylor goes, I don't think that's fixing the main issues. And I've been against Zach Taylor for years now. But if you fire Taylor, you're really not fixing all of the issues that you have as an organization.
No, you really aren't. I have nothing else on this game. Let's jump into your guys here. Giants, Eagles. Giants were looking for the sweep. They haven't won a game in Philly now in 12 years. It'll continue on to year 13 next season. You got to have a lot of takeaways from this, but I'll just start with the obvious. The tush-push fumble was a ridiculous no call from the referees, and it's why fans around the league are completely sick of the Eagles running this play, because they get the first down marker whistled as if it's the goal line. The second Hurts crosses, they blow the play dead. It was an obvious fumble. It completely changed the game. And once again, fans around the league are saying Philadelphia gets the calls that the other teams don't on those short yardage situations in that formation. That is the problem with this play, because not only do you have the fumble that gets called back and completely swings the game in Philly's favor, the Giants probably don't win anyways, too. We'll talk about that. But you also have guys offsides every play. Nauseating no call.
This is the problem with the play. They don't officiate it correctly. They don't officiate the game correctly on the play. I am actually okay with the play, as long as you are going to call the obvious offsides, the obvious false starts, and you're going to let the play run through like you're supposed to. Why? First of all, the whistle doesn't even get blown, because the mics on the field were great today. Okay, the whistle was not blown today. Okay, you heard it. So what are we doing? I don't understand how that was not called a fumble. I really don't. And you're right. The Giants were not going to win this game, but it would have been a lot closer if a couple of calls went their way, which they should have.
And listen, you never know what happens if they get the lead back there. You never know what happens if they fumble, get it in Philly territory. They were deep in Philly territory there. You never know what happens after that if the Giants go down and score. The domino effect is unimaginable of what could go down.
SKATTEBO probably doesn't get hurt. His ankle doesn't snap in the other direction, because they would have gotten the ball back right there.
Also sucks because now the Giants just became completely unwatchable.
Oh, they're so unwatchable. You know what, Kevin? Like today, and we'll get to SKATTEBO in a minute, but you said it before. They're not winning this football game. They did a lot of things wrong today. They couldn't tackle. They couldn't stop the run. Jalen Hurts got outside of the pass rush, which was good. They just couldn't bring them down. Okay? They did not do a good job on defense, and their offensive line, especially when SKATTEBO went down, they couldn't block for crap today. The offensive line had their first bad game in a very long time. So they were not the better team by any stretch of the imagination, but should have this game been 38-20? Absolutely not. The offensive pass interference call on Slayton, while in real time, I was like, oh, that's a shove. When you see the replay, not even close. They were both hand fighting, and he just got his arm around him, which looked like a shove. Maybe hit the weight room, whoever that was, hit the weight room so that the arm.
Quinton Mitchell, and I think he actually embellished it a pretty good amount too, because in real time it did look good. I think the second he felt contact, it was tougher to notice on the replay. I think he cocked his head back completely because he knew he could try and bait a call there.
Loser. You had Cordell Flott go down, and then you had a fifth string corner in. I've never heard of the guy. His name Corey Black gets a BS defensive pass interference call down 11, which would have gotten the Giants off the field there. So, because they were both hand fighting, but it went to them. It went on their side. So it was like legitimately one of the worst officiated games I've ever seen in my life. Those referees should be embarrassed for themselves that they make. You know how much referees make on average? $205,000. That is disgusting that those men made money today, because that was a disgusting performance by all of them. You have Jordan Mailata jumping, and they call an offsides on Kayvon Thibodeau. He clearly jumped first, but Kayvon got the offsides on a 3rd and 4, gave him a first down. It was absolutely disgusting what I watched today from the Giants play on defense, tackling, and also with the referees. Thought Dart looked good, has no chance with those receivers, has no chance with SKATTEBO not in there. Thought he made some plays, thought he held on to the ball a little too long at times, but overall made plays. He could play. I'm a believer at this point. I'm a full-time believer. Just disgusting. Disgusting.
Do you think, I have two questions for you about the Giants here. Do you think that they should go? No, dude. I mean, totally warranted. Do you think that they should add a playmaker at the deadline? Like an actual, you're giving up somewhere between a 3rd and 5th round pick playmaker at the deadline. And do you also feel any different about Dable and Shane's job status now? Because I'll remind everybody, I had an interesting conversation with Gabe about it too on Thursday's Bunker. They're in a contract year next year, so they're probably looking for extensions or a decision this offseason. And the organization's going to want to do that too. That goes both ways. So you have to kind of get to a point where I think you feel one way or another about them at the end of the year. Did you change at all today?
I didn't change it all today. I feel fine about them. I think there's obviously, like, there are holes, and the areas of where they need improvement are clear. You need secondary help, maybe an interior alignment or two in the draft, and you need playmakers on the outside. Other than that, I feel like you're pretty much set. You have a really good defensive front. Probably need to draft a defensive tackle somewhere as well in this coming draft, because Dex is getting towards the end. Not saying he's washed. I'm just saying he doesn't play every snap. I just think, like, there's talent around here. It's the stupid mistakes, but I just think it's because they're so young in certain spots.
Yeah, it's a tough situation.
And the first question was trade as long as you're here next year and beyond.
Yeah.
If you could get somebody that you feel good about, then I would. But, obviously you're not looking to help this team. This team's done. So it's somebody that you truly believe in that's not going to be available next season, where I'm like, okay, well, let's make a move.
Yeah. All right, let's move on here unless you have anything else on this game.
I'll get to the Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles. We'll do the Eagles. We'll do the overreaction. But I will say just one quick one. Nice to see Saquon have a good day if you're an Eagles fan, because he needed a big run. He had the first,
awesome.
He had the first big run of the game to start it off. Eagles fans, I think, needed that because it was getting a little concerning about him in year 2 in Philly. Let's bounce over to Bears-Ravens. By the way, we're skipping a couple games today, just a few bad ones. We're going to skip that Buffalo game. We're going to go to Bears-Ravens here. This is a horrendous loss for Chicago, who I praised last week. Tyler Huntley gets the win for the Ravens. I mean, just disgusting stuff for the Bears. If you're a Bears fan, you're throwing up tonight. You're just in hell.
Yeah, I'm going to save the Bears for my overreaction. I'll say this, though. We record the gambling show on Thursdays. On Thursday and Friday, it looked pretty good that Lamar was going to play in this game. The spread was 6.5. Spread went down to 2.5. I was like, I wouldn't have this in. I wouldn't even have it in at 2.5. To cover the 6.5 today. That's a lucky win there. It's a lucky win on the gambling show. But yeah, the Ravens kind of needed this. We talked about it a couple of weeks ago, where if they had any chance at making the postseason, you had to start right now. I think you can play with maybe 2 losses here. 10-7 probably does it if they can go, 8-2 over the next 10 games. That probably gets you into the postseason. So we're going to have to see if they're able to do it. I don't think so. I think the defense is so banged up, they're not going to be able to. But today's the kind of win, Kevin, where you look at John Harbaugh and say, yeah, this is why this guy's around. Like, this is why this guy is one of the top 5 to 7 head coaches in the entire league. And you kind of just thank all your gods that you have him.
Yeah, absolutely. Good for the Ravens. I'll get to Baltimore more in my overreaction, so we'll hold off the rest of the way there. Falcons, Dolphins. Oh, my God, Mike. I don't care that Kirk Cousins played. I don't care at all. I don't think it would have made a difference. Maybe they make it a little prettier, but they still lose that game. Atlanta, I have no idea what to think of you. I just can't give you any confidence. There's no confidence in Atlanta because they have games like this, and they have games like the Buffalo game, but they have games like this where you just say, that is not a team that's ready to play.
No, it's not, and you definitely have to have questions about the coaching staff and the front office because you've put together a good roster. London doesn't play, obviously, today, but Bijan Robinson is one of the best weapons in the entire league.
Yep.
So how do you not get him going against a terrible defense today at home? It's embarrassing.
And defensively today for Atlanta. Like, are we serious?
Points.
Are we serious with that defensive performance? Tua looked unbelievable. It was like a career day for him. 20 of 26, 4 touchdowns. Waddle absolutely gashed him. He had the one huge reception. But, man, like, I don't even – Raheem Morris, I never liked the hire. And today's one of those days where you just get that affirmation that, like, he's not good. And this team is not ready to play.
So many smart people liked him, too. That was a big thing that I was like, all right, maybe they got the decision right. Like, McVay just praised him nonstop when he got hired. So a lot of smart people liked Morris, but yeah, this might end up being a 2-year stunt for him, and he's done. If this team does not sneak into the postseason, they obviously had the disaster at the end of the year last season. If they're not able to get into the playoffs this year, I think they're going to have a serious conversation about that. And I'm going to get to Cousins later in the overreaction because, oh my God.
Wow.
I mean, oh my God.
A Kirk Cousins overreaction?
Yeah.
All right, Texans.
I mean, I think you could guess where that's going.
I think so too.
It's one thing. It's the worst something maybe in the history of the sport.
Texans 49ers. Huge win for Houston. I had a feeling they were going to find a way today. Their defense is really good, and just a dud for San Fran in a game where, you know what, they maybe aren't the best team on the field today because they have so many injuries, but they couldn't get McCaffrey going at all. They couldn't get anything going offensively. They end up getting the Kittle touchdown, which is a lock on National Tight Ends Day every year, but bad loss. I hate the Texans. I hate watching them.
Texans stink. I mean, Stroud was good today, actually. He threw the ball 39 times, but he was good. Finally looked good in the game. I turned the game on Monday night for 2 seconds, and I thought they set football back on Monday night against the Hawks.
Yeah.
They were that bad.
That was awful.
But, the Niners are so banged up, it's so tough to judge them. I wanted to come in today and say, well, the Mac Jones love affair is done. Mac Jones is not the next guy that gets a chance with another really smart head coach and revives his career. But you have to look at that. The receiver room stinks. Kittle's coming back from an injury. Kendrick Bourne, Jawan Jennings has been banged up. Pearsall, I don't even think he played today. So, the weapons outside of McCaffrey and Kittle stink. It's tough, man. They're so injured, so banged up. And this is a bad spot against the desperate Texans team who probably still feels like they're fighting for a postseason spot, getting embarrassed on national TV a week prior.
I was looking at the box score today. They have Woody Marks.
Woody Marks.
His first name's Jaquavius.
Where do we get Woody from?
I don't know. I was looking at the box score and I'm like, man, this team just has a stable of running backs that they can just cycle through, huh? Jaquavius Marks. 11 for 62. I was like, wow.
Are you sure?
Yeah, his nickname's Woody. His real name's Jaquavius.
I'm looking right now. It says Woody.
Just Google Jaquavius Marks.
I do not know how to spell Jaquavius.
J-O apostrophe Quavius. Quavious. That's Woody Marks' real name.
I'm looking up Woody Marks.
If you look up Woody Marks and go to Pro Football Reference.
Oh, wow, it is
Jaquavius
Marks.
Just a little fact for you that you probably didn't know.
Wow, I didn't know that. Woody. Nice. Good for Woody.
Good win for them, though. They needed it. Do you think that this Houston team, I'm assuming we're both avoiding them in overreactions, do you think they have a real shot at being one of those AFC wildcard squads, or is this kind of just a little bit of a fake game?
If they are, count me out of that playoff game. I will not watch it.
Hey, Stroud's won a playoff game each of his first 2 seasons.
That is true. He won me a lot of money last year against the Chargers. A lot of money.
For them to get into the playoffs, they're going to have to win the big division games down the stretch, along with the games they're supposed to win down the stretch. You're going to have to beat Indianapolis. You're going to have to beat... Yeah, they're 3-4 right now. Let's go through the schedule.
You have 3 guaranteed playoff teams in the West. Broncos, Chargers, Chiefs, right? So that's 3.
Yep.
Colts, 4.
And you have 2 in the East.
2 in the
Buffalo
East.
and New England.
That's 6.
So the 7th spot up for grabs. It's
really going to... No, that's because the 7th spot's just the last AFC North team. So you're going to have to finish better than one of the Chargers, Chiefs, or loser of the AFC East.
So let's say you got to get to 10 wins. They're 3-4 right now. Home against Denver next week, I'd give them a loss.
That's a loss.
Home against Jacksonville the week after. Do we want to give them a win there?
Home, fine.
So they're 4-5. Home against, or on the road, Tennessee, I'm giving them a win. 5-5. Home against Buffalo, loss.
5-6.
5-6. At Indianapolis, loss. 5-7. At Kansas City, loss. 5-8.
They're done. Because
they also play the Chargers and Colts another time, so they're toast.
Barring massive injuries, more injuries for the Chargers are winning at least 10 games. The Chiefs are going to win the division. The Broncos are 6-2 now. They're going to have a chance at the division, but they're going to make the playoffs. And you have nobody in the North that's going to make any noise. So yeah, this team's done.
How confident are you in Stroud at this point in time?
Enough where my overreaction from earlier in the year, I probably wouldn't go with. I think he's my quarterback next year, but I think he's going to have to ball out next season for me not to consider it the year after.
Yeah, I think I could get behind that. All right, let's move over. Patriots and Browns.
Your guy
today. Early on in this game, the Browns defense was looking stout. They have all year, so it wasn't a surprise. I thought they'd have a big day. New England scores their first 3 scoring drives are all field goals. May turns one over, had a really bad interception, like kind of a 2024 Drake May moment. Yeah. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, is this what happens when we now see this offense against a really good defense, which is what this Browns defense is. Now, game's over, and I'm saying, is Drake May the MVP? 2,000 yards, 15 touchdowns, 3 interceptions on the year. He's the highest rated quarterback in the entire NFL. It feels like if the season ended today, he's probably the most valuable player. At least among the quarterbacks, he's the best candidate for it because he's having a monster season. And when we're having a serious conversation about the outlook going forward, when it comes to the rest of the season, May probably keeps this up because the schedule is so soft.
Listen to the company May joined with his past 7 games here. He joins the company of Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and Patrick Mahomes. He is one of the quarterbacks that has had 200-plus yards, 100-plus passer rating in 7 consecutive games, 7-plus consecutive games within a season at any age. That's a pretty good company there, and he is part of that now. He is... Kevin, he's just as good as anybody in the league.
He is right now. He's just as good.
Outside of that Allen Lamar Mahomes class, you could put him right up there with Burrow, and maybe that is recency bias. But I've seen May do it this season, and I haven't seen Burrow do it this season.
Yeah, so. I have to still get more. Trust me, I'm like not being a hater. I really do enjoy watching Drake May play, and I loved him at the draft, and I have fun watching him. So I'm not trying to sound like a hater right here, but and also like my Jets got the win today, dude. Like
you're not hating.
We're not hating. We're not hating. We're back on top. We're back on top.
Right.
But I just need to see him do it for more than a year, and I need to see it in the playoffs this year. Like his big games in December too, and in the playoffs are going to mold my opinion of him so much because as great as he's playing right now, so I'm not going to take it away from him because a lot of guys against these teams don't play great, especially Cleveland. Like Cleveland is a really great defense. And they've given a lot of good quarterbacks trouble.
So good.
I think this schedule is so bad that I cannot confidently come in here and just say he's a top 5 quarterback. But he's playing like one. So I'm not going to argue like people that say he is.
That throw to Booty, whatever his name is.
He's having a great year too.
He's having a really good year. Like the weapons aren't great. Diggs is inconsistent. Like Diggs didn't have a huge day. They caught a touchdown, but he didn't have a huge day. Like the weapons he's throwing to, the backs, they're not going to Henderson for some reason. It's still Stevenson. The offensive line's still getting there. Like I understand the schedule's easy, but he also doesn't have the greatest pieces around him right now. And it's fun to watch.
Henderson woke up a little bit today, though. 10 for 75, led the team in rushing. So we wonder if that's maybe a turning point for him this season.
Maybe.
But another really good day for Drake May on what this. Can I take you? Yeah, what were you going to say first?
Myles Garrett, 5 sacks.
I know, 5 sacks and like 32 points from New England. It's not even a problem. But Myles Garrett's ridiculous. Let me just take you down quick. The alternate reality of Josh McDaniels never gets hired by the Raiders. Mac Jones probably stays at least competent at quarterback the way he was his first year. Belichick never gets fired. And we're in a completely different universe right now because obviously Josh McDaniels is a good offensive coordinator and a very quarterback-friendly offensive coordinator.
Yeah, but I also think May, like, he is, but it didn't work prior and...
Because, I mean, Belichick literally, like, what I'm saying is the Patriot fan is so lucky right now because May's ceiling is so much higher than what Jones's was. Even at the end of his rookie year, I never thought Mac Jones was going to be this level of a player.
So you're saying McDaniels never gets the job because of May, because of Jones, you think that we're still here with Belichick and
Mac Jones and Josh McDaniels, because they probably continue to win 9 games because they still have competent quarterback play. I mean, the guy threw 27 touchdowns his rookie year and controlled the turnover battle in almost every week. They won like 9 straight games that year, losing the playoffs as a rookie. And then the next year, his offensive coordinator is Matt Patricia.
No, I was a big Jones fan. I thought they were winning that game in Buffalo too. Like, I was a big Mac Jones guy.
No, never. They got steamrolled. Terrible,
I know.
Terrible take.
I know. Yeah, I lost a lot of money on that game. So I was a believer. That's a good point. That's an alternate universe. And maybe the Giants have May right now. So
because I was thinking that watching Belichick at UNC last week, and I'm like, if McDaniels just never left for that Raiders job, which was such a bust for him, Belichick's still coaching New England probably, but neither here nor there.
We did a segment on how bad that is and how maybe like he's done forever.
It's really bad. It's really bad.
He's done.
One day we'll do a segment. We have to get through this show first.
Yeah, maybe we got to do a bunker on how bad Belichick is.
We'll do a bunker on it. Let's go Broncos Cowboys BTA session between Broncos Cowboys here at Mile High Stadium. Denver put it on them.
BTA. I gotta say, your boy Dak on their first drive, maybe. He's rolling back to his right. Pressure in his face, gets rocked, chucks it up to Lamb. Perfect throw. I was like, oh my God. I thought they were going to win the game after that. There was no score. I was like, they're going to win this game. He's that good. No, tough. Broncos are great. Broncos are really good. They haven't played up to their potential really all season long. They had a couple of really tough losses early. That Colt game was disgusting. They looked like crap against the Jets, looked like crap for 3 quarters against the Giants, then had the greatest quarter ever. And then they followed up with a big time beatdown on a really bad Dallas defense. No doubt. Really bad Dallas defense. But they look good. Knicks is rolling. This team is finally, and they're dangerous. But that defense, you could beat anybody.
No, you can. Let's just, for a second, on the topic of Denver. The Broncos are in the mix for best team in the league. They're 6-2. They have not played to their potential yet. I think we started to see it this week and in the second half against the Giants. But the Chargers game, and especially that Colts game, they were right there to win it. And they should have won the Colts game, but they got hosed on that last field goal that Indianapolis missed. They got that penalty for making contact with the center. Indy hits the next kick. Game over. They're 6-2. They should be sitting at 7-1. They would have been a play away from 8-0 because right now they're 2 plays away from 8-0. They should have been sitting at 7-1. Leading the way for the 1 seed. I think Denver has been the most disrespected and underrated team so far throughout this entire season.
They're going to be the most well-coached team, one of the 3 most well-coached teams in the entire league with Sean Payton. And again, you get Knicks going. That was kind of the issue early on there where he just did not look like that same player we saw towards the end of the year. And now we're starting to see that again. He's got his confidence back. He's got that moxie. He's a very confident kid, and he's super smart. And he makes plays. He can make plays with his feet. He can make almost any throw. And those weapons are starting to come along too. Troy Franklin, obviously Cortland Sutton, getting Evan Ingram a little bit more involved. So, they could definitely use a wide receiver. I'm not saying they're completely set, but Franklin had a nice day today, 2 touchdowns, 89 yards. So if they can go out, like Olave would be a perfect fit if he was available. Even Judy here, you bring Judy into that situation back to Denver. They could really use another receiver to go along with Sutton there because Sutton's not a 1. He's not a 1.
I think he can be a 1, but he needs a complementary piece next to him that they just don't have. They could, if they had a 2 like Jameson Williams, then you can justify Sutton as a 1. But they don't have that guy who can actually stretch the field, and therefore Sutton becomes
like isn't the definition of being a 1 like exactly what you just said? Like if you're a 1, like
I mean, is he literally like one of the 12 or 13 wide receiver 1s in the league? No, but you can win with him as your best guy.
All right, that's fine.
That's what I mean.
He's not a guy that could carry a room. He can't.
No, he can't, and he doesn't.
No.
Let's go. Do you have anything else on Dallas? Do you think they're a playoff team here? No.
Today,
week to week with them.
Today, if they would have even been competitive against a good team in a tough place to play on the road, I thought we could have the conversation. Pisses me off, man. Giants should have won that game last week. This game that win would look so much more impressive. Giants are able to win that game with what they do to Dallas here. So, it just shows how good they played for 3 quarters and couldn't finish it.
Yeah.
But Dallas, thought today with a win, it would have solid. I think you've been like, Dallas a playoff team, but no.
And the rest of their schedule, similar to the Giants' schedules at Gauntlet, they have home against Arizona and on the road against Vegas the next 2 weeks, so they probably win both of those. That's the next 3 weeks. They have a bye week in the middle. But then it's Philly, Kansas City, Dallas, Minnesota, Chargers, Commanders, and then Giants. That's a really difficult rest of the way.
LSU is in discussion about Brian Kelly's future, and that includes outreach to Kelly about his potential departure. Situation is in flux. Kelly's owed $54 million in buyout money. That was 2 hours ago from Pete Thamel. He's the ESPN guy, college football. LSU just called a team meeting for tonight. That's the most recent.
I'd dump him.
Brian Kelly might be on the way out, dude.
He stinks.
Wow. The LSU job becomes
Giants next coach.
No, God, no. I hate Brian Kelly. We were in the same room as Brian Kelly one night.
Yeah, that's our boy.
Yeah, no.
All right, let's go into overreactions here. Michael Merlo, you can start us off with your first overreaction from Week 8.
First overreaction, the Bears cost themselves a playoff spot with this loss here. We were going on and on about how impressive the Bears were last week. This loss right here not only hurts them in the standings big time, going to 4-3, playing in a really tough division, and just an overall good conference, but I think kills confidence and kills the energy around this team from the outsider's perspective. I think today is clear that they do not have that elite weapon currently on this roster. Dunze is great, whether he turns into it or not. And a Ben Johnson offense, we saw it in Detroit. You need that big-time impactful running back. Swift is okay, but we mentioned it last week. He's the David Montgomery to the Jahmyr Gibbs. They need to get their Jahmyr Gibbs in here, that playmaker that you are staying up at night about if you're a defensive coordinator, especially with Ben Johnson on the other side coaching him. They need that big-time playmaker. Until they get that guy, this Bears team does not make the playoffs.
I like it. I agree with it. I know that we've now had 2 polar opposite overreactions with the Bears in 2 weeks, but I think this feels like the right one here in Week 8 after what we saw today. I'm going to go with one that I kind of just alluded to. I think Denver's going to be the 1 seed in the AFC. I think that there's no team right now who on all 3 phases is as well coached and as well oiled as Denver. The last 2 weeks, I think, are a real wake up for their offense. The last 6 quarters they've played with that second half against the Giants, I think that'll really get the offense going. Maybe they had a playmaker at the deadline. RJ Harvey looked really good today, had the big touchdown, and Dobbins had another really nice day on the ground. They run the hell out of the ball. They do a great job of it. So I think that Denver is going to end up winning that division and being the top team, and the home field advantage that they have is by far the best in the entire league right now.
No, it's great. It's tough to go there and play. Obviously, not only with the fans, but the conditions there, Mile High. It's tough. So it's not a bad take at all. That team is rolling. I don't know if they're better than the Chiefs. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know if they're better, but I think that they will finish with the better record.
They're well positioned right now, almost 2 games up on them. So
let's go Broncos. Your next overreaction.
Right, my bad. Didn't realize it was my turn.
Kirk
Cousins might have one of the worst contracts in the NFL history. Kirk Cousins literally may have one of the worst contracts in the history of the NFL. 4 years, $180 million. I'm pretty sure they can get out of it next year. But just looking at that, the fact that not only Kirk Cousins is paid $45 million a year, his total earnings in his career is over $312 million. I was always a Kirk Cousins fan, but what a colossal mistake giving this guy this contract. What a mess for this team, who then ended up drafting his replacement anyway. Obviously, again, they know they can get out after 2 years, but what a terrible job. You need him to play a bad team at home, and you can't even be competitive in the game. What a disgusting performance from Atlanta. That's why I really didn't go in on them before, because I was saving this. Just disgusting from the Falcons and Kirk Cousins today, not being able to be close against a terrible Miami Dolphin team that may have quit on their coach already, but today they were ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that this team is just, with Kirk in there, like a lot of people were throwing out this team should trade for Cousins. The Browns should trade for Cousins. The Bengals should trade for Cousins. He stinks. He was awful last year. He got benched for a reason. He got benched more so because of his play than the we want to see Penix angle of it. It had a lot more to do with Kirk's actual play. They wanted to sit Penix for the entire year. This team is not good enough at quarterback, though, overall, but Kirk came in and showed just how much worse he is than Penix, who's already below league average this year. So I could agree with you. Again, we've seen the meme so many times how great Kirk Cousins' agent is. And as one of the highest earners in NFL history, he continues to absolutely rob the Atlanta Falcons with the money he's getting.
Brian Kelly's out.
Out, official. So I saw it coming after last night. Didn't know if it would happen today or at the end of the season, but
A&M's great, man. Second time watching A&M this year. They are great.
A&M's really good.
That quarterback can play. He is a playmaker.
Yep. See ya, Kelly. Done. And grass isn't always greener. Left Notre Dame for LSU, wanted to win a national championship. Notre Dame played and won last year.
Failure.
And Kelly's out at LSU. Interesting for Nussmeier the rest of the year, too, how he projects as a potential top 10 pick in the NFL draft.
Him early. Watched him early in a big game against Clemson and was just so impressed with him.
Yeah.
And it looked like at the time he was a Heisman favorite and going to be a top guy in this draft, and not so much. Not anymore. Well, he's plummeted.
Absolutely has. I'm going to go to my next overreaction here. It hinges on the Sunday Night Football result, but I'm making my Sunday Night Football pick right here too. Ravens are winning the AFC North.
Okay.
Ravens are back. Huge win without Lamar today. Next 3 weeks, next 4 weeks, next 5 weeks are incredibly winnable games for Baltimore. They're at Miami, at Minnesota, at Cleveland, 3 on the road. I know they probably don't win all 3. They probably go 2-1 there. Then they play the Jets. Then they play the Bengals, both in Baltimore. Then they're home against the Steelers. They play the Steelers 2 more times this year. If Lamar's healthy the rest of the way, I could see them sweeping Pittsburgh, and I could see them winning more games than anybody in this division. Cleveland and Cincinnati are out of that race, I think. Baltimore could win 11 or 12 games still on this season. So I'm not ready to just pump the brakes completely on Baltimore's success. I'm ready to go all in on it. And that's assuming Pittsburgh loses tonight against Green Bay.
Yeah, and I think Pittsburgh wins tonight, but it's not a bad take at all because you look at that Pittsburgh schedule, and it is really, really tough the next few weeks here. And who do you trust more? Do you trust an aging, obviously, Aaron Rodgers, or do you trust Lamar Jackson, probably really well-rested coming into next week? So I wanted to hate on it as you started there, but I actually don't hate it at all. It's just tough to predict a team who's so banged up on defense to go 8-2 the rest of the way. It's tough, but I might jump on the bandwagon with you.
This next 6 days or next 5 days has a lot to do with it. They have to win tonight. They have to win on Thursday night in Miami. I mean, the Green Bay's got to win tonight. But your final overreaction.
My final overreaction is the NFC is wide open. I don't think there's a top dog whatsoever. Watch Philly today. Philly looked good at times. Again, I thought they got pretty bailed out by the referees, though, as most of us did. You look at the NFC, who are the best teams? I'm not really sold on Green Bay. Obviously not sold on Philly. Tampa's too banged up to even tell. Seattle, you trust them? I think the best team in the NFC is either the Rams or the Lions. They both didn't play today. It's tough to decide who the best team is, but I think when you're looking at it, it is more wide open than it's ever been in years. In years. For any conference. I don't think there is a clear favorite right now in the NFC, and you may have a crazy postseason full of not crazy upsets, but teams that have good records. You don't expect them to win. Maybe they edge out a Philly in the second round or a Detroit or Green Bay early. I think it's going to be a crazy postseason in the NFC with how wide open it is.
I agree with you completely. I think right now the best team is the Rams. I think Detroit's right there too. So,
and you asked me last week, and I said no on Rams, and now I don't know why I said no, because I was thinking about it all week actually, and I said the Rams are the best team in the NFC. That's the best team.
And Stafford's playing like the best quarterback in the NFC, I think too, which is very big in the postseason. And he's a guy who we've seen now the last few years with the Rams have huge postseason performances. Even in Philly last year on the road in the snow, he was slinging it, and they dropped a couple passes in the fourth quarter, and I thought that the Rams could have won that game. They were the only team that put up a fight against Philadelphia in the playoffs last year. They're back this year. They have a chip on their shoulder for sure. I'll go to my final overreaction. I know I had a lot of Drake May love earlier in the show. Jonathan Taylor's the MVP if the season ends today. He has been the most impactful player to his team in the entire league. There is not a single guy contributing more to winning around all of football and making his entire team better than Jonathan Taylor right now. He's on Triple Crown watch. He's 168 touches, over 1,000 total yards, only guy in football with it, 14 total touchdowns. He is an absolute monster, having a career year. And keep an eye out for that record that LT has, 31 touchdowns in a season, because Jonathan Taylor's pacing to break it.
It's tough, man, because, and I understand how great he's been. He's been easily the offensive player of the year, but Jones is also having a great year. And we know how, it's swayed towards the quarterback. I understand the touchdown numbers are just insane. 3 again today, 2 straight weeks with 3 touchdowns, but it is, I don't know if you're going to sit there and you're going to vote for him over Daniel Jones.
I don't know, because think about it. Think about it. If you're
I understand.
18, but listen, if you're in week 18 and they won 14 games, they're 14-3, they were the 1 seed in the AFC, then the voters are going to look at that team and they're simply just going to say who was the best player on it. And it's going to be Jonathan Taylor, because he's going to be the best player in the league. And Daniel Jones is not going to be the best quarterback.
What if Daniel Jones is sitting there with 33 touchdown passes, 8 interceptions, threw for over 4,000 yards, and had a passer rating over 108?
If Taylor ends up a little bit shorter than the pace he's on right now, he'll finish with over 2,000 rushing yards and over 25 touchdowns. That is one of the 5 best running back seasons of all time. It's one of the 3 best running back seasons of all time.
And it warrants
I think he's going to get this is the best player on this offense. And Jones doesn't do that without him. And think about now, you're going to have to look at how many yards of Jones are through Taylor.
It's a good point.
He might be an 800, 900 yard receiving guy.
It's a good point. I can't believe how great he is. We knew this was in him, but obviously the injuries and lack of quarterback play has stopped him the past couple of years, but unbelievable.
I think for him to not win it, it would be May. If this keeps up.
Right.
At this rate, it's going to be another quarterback outside of Jones.
Well, you don't think... I'm just going to pull it up for you. You don't think Stafford might have something to do with it, or...
No, he might. Mayfield, maybe. I don't think Mayfield, though, will...
And Mayfield a slow couple of weeks here.
Stafford definitely could, because he's pacing right now for 41 touchdowns and 3 interceptions or something. So he definitely could have something to do with it. But the problem now for Taylor is keeping the pace up and not getting injured, because you miss 1 or 2 games, which is a likely reality for a running back, you're out of the race.
He's got to play 17 games.
Got to play 17 games.
16 if they're clinched with everything.
They all have to be, 90-yard games, at least 90 total yards, and at least a touchdown every week. Your bad game has to be 90 and a touchdown.
Yeah. That's crazy.
But if the season ends today, I think I'd give it to Taylor.
There you go.
All right, that's a wrap. Sunday Night Football picks. I think we've kind of already made them, but
yeah, I think Steelers win tonight.
I'm going to take Green Bay. It's a fun one though tonight. It's a fun game. I could see it going either way. I think both teams are good, not great, and I'm excited to see the outcome. Rodgers, too bad it's not in Lambeau, but Rodgers gets his old squad finally here after 3 years. All right, wrap it up. Week 8 recap. Thanks for watching. Check out Gambling tomorrow, Mike and Bo. Check out the Gambling Instagram for the football picks from this week. We will see you in Week 9, same time, 7:30. Appreciate you tuning in.